Hi, welcome. I'm glad you found my webpage and glad you're interested in hearing about how I learned how to play Warcraft, or the World of Warcraft in particular. And I just want to say I love role-playing games, so World of Warcraft really is up my alley. Skyrim's one of my favorites, Legend of Zelda, different things like that. Um, but I digress. This love of RPGs really made me think that Warcraft was going to be an easy thing to jump into, but it's my first time ever playing on a computer console instead of playing on Xbox or playing on PlayStation. And playing a game like World of Warcraft with lag, with using different, not even using the arrow keys of the keyboard, that took me a little bit to figure out. It was challenging for me. And I actually started three different characters. So I currently have a character in one world at level 1, another character at level 5, and then my playable character at level 11. When I was learning how to play Warcraft, World of Warcraft, really six principles stood out in my mind. And they all come from Guy's book. We've all read it. But I'd like to highlight those six principles one by one. But before I do that, I would like to list them out. And I'm getting there right now. They're all different blog posts. The six principles I really focus on are the multiple routes principle that he talks about, and how in gaming you really can go in a couple of different directions and be successful. The next thing is really the active critical learning principle, where students or players learn by immersing themselves actively into the culture of the game. The next thing is the transfer principle, where you take skills you learned from one section of the game, you transfer them to the next section of the game, or even from one affinity group to the next affinity group, etc. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the probing principle, or just being a detective or an investigator. I've really used that probing principle a lot in order to test out different hypotheses that I'd formed throughout my time playing Warcraft. Also, I used the multimodal principle and found that the World of Warcraft does a great job of having different pictures for different spells, new quests, and different chatter boxes, or chat boxes. So the multimodal principle is ingrained into World of Warcraft. And finally, the concept of affinity groups is really present, so I'd like to spend time talking about that. So feel free to click around. Thanks for stopping here first, and let me know what you think.